Beautiful Cinderella. In a small kingdom far away, there lived a young girl. Her name was Cinderella. Cinderella lived with her father, stepmother, and stepsisters. Cinderella's stepsisters loved to dress up, whereas Cinderella loved to help in the house. She cleaned the floors and the kitchen, and always got herself all dirty. That didn't bother her, as she loved what she was doing. One day, her father received an invitation from the palace. The king was having a grand ball at the palace. All the young maidens were invited. Cinderella and her stepsisters were excited. Cinderella could not stop thinking about it. Even as she swept the kitchen floor, she danced with her broom. She dreamt she was dancing with the handsome prince. Her stepsisters too danced about with joy as they tried different dresses to wear to the ball. Cinderella realized she did not have a dress for the grand ball. She ran to her father and stepmother. "Father, stepmother, I do not have a gown to wear to the ball," she cried. "Don't you worry, my dear," said her stepmother. "I will take you to our seamstress to make one for you." "Oh, thank you, stepmother," said Cinderella as she danced her way to the kitchen. Cinderella's stepmother came back with sad news. All the seamstresses were busy that weekend. Cinderella became sad. Her stepsister suggested she try out their dresses. Cinderella tried their lovely dresses, but they were either too loose or too long. It was the day of the grand ball. Cinderella sat with a heavy heart as she saw her stepsisters dressed in their pretty gowns. When her stepsisters left, Cinderella cried bitterly in front of the fireplace. Suddenly, out of a tiny spark, appeared the fairy godmother. "Why do you cry?" asked the fairy godmother. Cinderella was startled. She said, "I wish I could go to the grand ball, but I don't have a dress to wear." The fairy godmother shook her wand, and in a flash, Cinderella's dress became a beautiful gown. "Now you need to go to the grand ball," said the fairy godmother. She saw 6 mice near a pumpkin. The fairy godmother shook her wand, and in a flash, the pumpkin turned into a beautiful golden coach. The mice turned into 4 shiny black horses and 2 coachmen. Cinderella couldn't believe what she saw. Cinderella's father wondered what all the noise was about. He looked out of his window to see Cinderella in a beautiful gown and the fairy godmother. He was surprised but happy for his favorite daughter. "Now you are ready to go, but remember," said the fairy godmother, "this magic will last only till midnight." "Yes, I will remember, fairy godmother," said Cinderella. Cinderella's father winked at her as the coach sped off to the palace for the grand ball. When Cinderella entered the palace, everyone was struck by her shining beauty. Cinderella's stepmother and stepsisters did not recognize her. The prince saw Cinderella and fell in love with her. He danced with Cinderella the whole evening. Cinderella was so happy dancing with the prince that when the clock struck 12, she remembered the fairy godmother's warning. Oh dear," cried Cinderella. "I must go." "Where do you have to go?" asked the prince. Cinderella ran out of the palace. The prince ran behind her. "Please tell me your name," he shouted. Cinderella did not look back. As she ran towards the coach, one of her glass slippers came off. Cinderella did not stop. She ran to her coach. The coach sped off down the road. As the clock chimed for the last time, Cinderella's beautiful gown turned back to her dirty dress. The horses and coachmen became mice, and the coach turned back to a pumpkin. The sad prince picked up Cinderella's glass slipper in the hope of finding her. The whole kingdom spoke about the beautiful young lady who danced with the prince. Cinderella's stepmother and stepsisters too praised the beautiful maiden. The next morning, the prince made an announcement. The lady whose foot fitted the glass slipper will be the one I marry. The prince's royal servants went to all the young maidens' houses. When the royal servants came to Cinderella's home, she was busy dancing and cleaning the kitchen floor. Cinderella's stepsisters tried to squeeze in their feet in the glass slipper, but it wouldn't fit. The royal servants then asked if there was any other maiden in the house. Then Cinderella's father quickly said, "Please wait, I'm sure it will fit Cinderella." But Cinderella did not go to the grand ball, said the stepmother. "Oh yes, she did," replied father. When Cinderella tried on the glass slipper, her foot slid in easily. Cinderella's stepsisters jumped with joy and they hugged Cinderella. Cinderella then removed the other glass slipper from her pocket and put it on. As magical sparks flew all over, Cinderella's dirty dress turned into the beautiful gown she wore for the ball. The prince was happy to find Cinderella. He married her, and together they lived happily ever after.